You have the Samsung Galaxy. This is the J7 Refine, but this is for all J7s. You want to make your battery last as long as possible. This phone's getting old. We want the charge to last day to day in between charges, and hopefully our J7 will last many, many years. This is how to do it. Let's get started. The number one thing you could do to help preserve the battery life of your J7 is to unplug the charger when it's done charging. That is the absolute worst thing you can do, is to get it to 100% and leave it plugged in. Let me show you what happens. This is what happens. Samsungs, unfortunately, do this. They keep charging, so it'll get to 100, and then it'll trickle to 99, and then it'll charge again. Over and over and over, the chemistry keeps reacting inside the battery. It does this. It stops being able to charge. It discharges very quickly, and then eventually it won't even charge, won't even power on. So the number one thing you can do is unplug your charger. All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, the next thing you can do that will help save your battery right now in between charges, you're going to jump into settings. We're going to go to display right there. Now, this J7 has an LCD screen. There are other models of the J7 that have the newer AMOLED screens. If you have a J7, and you can just look at it, Google it, see if your specific model has AMOLED or LCD. The Refine has a LCD. If you have an AMOLED screen, by changing to dark mode, they call it here night mode, it actually saves a ton of battery, because anywhere it's black, there's no electricity. So not only will it preserve your battery, but it'll preserve your screen and help avoid those red shadows that are notorious in some of the Samsungs. So on this one with the LCD screen, the best way to save battery is just turn that brightness down. I mean, that is, what is that, 30%, 25%, and it's still very much usable. Try that, see if that works, see how much that saves your battery. Let's move on to the next one. The very next thing that you can do that uses the most battery, and you could turn off radios. And what radios are on my phone? Well, Wi-Fi is a radio. So if you don't use, most people use Wi-Fi, so that's not really real. But if you don't use Wi-Fi, shut it off. The other ones that most people are familiar with is Bluetooth. So on most phones, Bluetooth comes automatically on. So that radio is always trying to connect. So if you don't use Bluetooth speakers, just turn that off. The next one, let's see if we have more connection settings. This one is almost always on all phones. Nearby device scanning. You can pause and read there or read it on your phone. If you don't do nearby device scanning, shut that off. And this one has blown my mind time and time again. There is a printer radio that is trying to connect to printers. Look at that, searching for printers. You just jump in. If you never print from your phone, jump in, turn that off. Last one we're going to get to, which is not going to help a lot of people because most people need their location on, but you can go to your location, and in this one it's a biometrics and security right here, and at the bottom, go down a little bit, turn on locate, or you can click location to see what you need. But you can turn that off. This will apply to people who you almost only use your phone at home or almost only use your phone at the office. If you travel, if you need maps, that kind of thing, obviously this won't work for you. But if you are able to turn off your location, you save even more battery. All right, while we're talking about battery, let's jump in and learn about the battery on this phone. We're going to go to device care. And this is another strategy right here. Just run your maintenance. The software is built in, helps your phone run a little bit better, and it'll warn you if you've got weird battery usage. But for now, let's just learn about battery. Let's touch here, and then we're going to go to power mode. Now, again, this is going to take you jumping into your phone settings to find out which one of these helps you. But if we chose like maximum power savings, extends the battery life by many hours by restricting background data and limiting CPU and turning the brightness down -5%, -10%. So you can come in here and set those settings to help you save the amount of battery if you want. Optimize, medium, or max power. And then you can do this one too, adaptive power saving. Set the power mode automatically based on your usage patterns. So the phone will actually learn a little bit and help you. I would be, if I'm wanting to save maximum battery, I would choose that one. You decide which one works for you. Take a real quick break here to talk about this Anker power brick. This is the Power Core Slim 10,000. This is what I use when I'm out and about and I need battery to make sure that I don't run out. It will work for the J7. You have to use your cord, and it comes in, it has a USB connector right here. Connect right here, and it automatically will start charging whenever you need power on the go, whether you're camping or out and about at work and meetings all day and you need some backup power. I use the Anker. They have a great reputation for, I mean, these things are going to charge it all day long as much as I need. I cannot run out of battery ever in a day or even in a weekend. So if I'm camping, if I'm out and about all day, I use the Anker. Oh, and you can find the Anker products right here in my YouTube affiliate store. If you're still running the J7, it's very unlikely that you've gone this long without updating your system. Update your system if you haven't in a long time. It'll help your phone run a little bit better. Sometimes it helps the battery last a little bit longer, but definitely it's going to protect you with the software updates. Try that, see if that works for you. All right, another strategy you can use, it's not going to save a ton of battery, but it'll help your phone run better, is jump into your device care and empty your trash every now and then. So again, the software automatically helps you look at all the things it does for you. Okay, and when we're done, we can go to storage and see if we have to throw any trash away. Trash is going to be old pics, old videos. All right, I couldn't find where the trash is. I tried to take some pictures and videos and delete them. So if you're familiar with yours, just empty your trash out. Try that, see if that helps your phone. All right, this next one is another one where it's not necessarily going to save you a ton of battery, but it's going to make your phone run faster, feel like it's going to run faster. So it's cool because I can show you before and after. So we're going to turn off what's called the animation. So anytime you do anything out here, there's an animation. So just as an example, let's bring up the dialer. You notice that the dialer kind of open like that. Now watch when we close the dialer, it's kind of going to close down into its little icon. One more time, opens and then closes. We can turn that off by going into settings, and we're going to go all the way down to accessibility. It's toward the bottom, and then we're going to look at visibility enhancements, and it's right here. It's remove animations right here. So the neat thing is, if you don't like how your phone runs after you toggle it this way, log back in, toggle it that way. But now look at the after. Bring up the dialer, it blinks on, close the dialer, it blinks off. So if you are moving in between apps, make a phone call, make a video, check social, and you're opening and closing apps, your phone is going to feel way faster. And when your phone's running faster, you're getting things done a little bit faster, you'll have a little bit more battery life. All right, let's move on. All right, we're getting into the experimental ones now. So I want you to go to apps, touch apps, and then I want you to search, and we're going to search for one called One UI Home. Touch One UI Home. And we're going to touch, so the UI Home is everything here. This is a user interface, everything. So when we go to adjust the settings, you can touch battery and you can disallow the apps to run in the background, use battery in the background. So we can touch optimize battery usage. You can read here, turn on to optimize battery usage for individual apps. Find out which ones you don't use or you use. And then on this one, if we read here, we can just disallow all background activity. Your battery is going to last longer if you do that. Try that, see if it works. If it doesn't, come back in here and turn it back the other way. All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, this next one is going to feel scary, but if your phone is so old that it's starting to glitch, get bogged down, and just run really slow, there is something inside what's called the Android recovery menu that will help clear out all temporary files. So if you've never done this and your phone is slow, this will probably help you a lot. So we got to power the phone off. Power the phone off. Okay, and this is scary because we're going to enter the menu that actually erases the entire phone, but we're not going to choose that option. We're going to choose a different one. So to get into the Android recovery menu, it's volume up, home, and power all at the same time. But I like to go volume up, power, or I'm going to start all over. Volume up, home, and then hold down power. And as soon as we see Samsung, we'll let go with all of them. Now it's going to boot right into the Android recovery menu. And with the volume keys, we're going to scroll down. And this is where people wipe the phone, completely erase it. But that's not what we want. We want the next one down. Wipe the cache partition. This erases temporary files only. It won't erase anything. It won't erase photos. If you've got a game on here, it won't erase your high scores. It does not erase any personal information. It only erases temporary files. And then when it powers back on, the software automatically builds the temporary files it needs. So we're going to press power for OK. It asks us to confirm, which is yes. And then it should just take a few seconds. The cache wipe is complete. Now it is safe to reboot the system. So that is standard protocol. It is built into the software. It's not something that's going to break your phone. It will help your phone, especially if you've got, like I said, apps that are glitching. Your phone is just terribly slow. That will help you. And if you know that your J7, whether you have the J7 or the J7 Refine, you know that it's just time to upgrade. Samsung is a great brand. You already know it's super reliable if you've been using your J7 this long. Here are my recommendations for some of the newer Samsungs if you are ready to upgrade. Hey, I want to thank you for watching. Please like, please subscribe, watch this video next, or if you need help never forgetting your PIN pattern or password, download this free. This is a thank you for everyone who is part of my channel. Thank you so much for watching.